How's it going, guys? Today I'm showing you how to do a remake of Interplanetary Criminal and Todd Edwards track Reckless. This is what it sounds like.
I don't wanna be young and dumb and crazy with anyone but you. If I get way too drunk on us, I'll have no regrets in the morning. I don't wanna be young and dumb.
Todd Edwards is an absolute legend in the scene, has been around for ages. He's best known for his track Fragments of Time with Daft Punk. So when they were in the studio, they actually filmed a time lapse while they were making the track, and that's the video that I've been putting up. Just to let you know, the drum samples used in today's video are from my Speed Garage pack. You can get that from my website. The link for that is in the description. There's still a sale on from Black Friday, so get it while it's still on sale. As always, you can download this project from my Patreon. The link for that is also below. Let's get on with it. Oh, sweating. Great, so let's start with the bass. So the bass is actually in a sampler, so let's hear it. This is what the MIDI looks like. So it's on every second beat. So if I was to put it on every beat, it'd be the exact same as the kick. Then you just move it one to the right and then it's slightly off. So it's the same as the hat, essentially. In terms of the sound, I've got this loop. So the original loop, let's try and play it as a whole. So I've got that loop from Splice. So if you go to Splice and you search for organ samples, then you'll find loads. And I just really like the one from this particular loop. So yeah, I sampled that and then obviously put it in key. So it was in G, so I put it in key. And then when you put the actual notes in, in terms of processing, we've got this limiter making sure that it doesn't peak, and we've also got this distortion which is making it a bit louder and more full, and lastly this kickstart here which is just side chaining to the kick. Even though none of the notes are hitting at the same time as the kick, I still put this in just to make sure there's no sort of overspill. Next we've got this synth. It sounds like this. So yeah, this is just made in wavetable and has a sort of sawtooth wave here in oscillator 1 and the similar sort of one in oscillator 2. This one is at 0 semitones, but if you actually have a look at oscillator 2, it's pitched up 7 semitones, which is creating a 7th note. So if you have a look at the MIDI, it's just playing that long stagnated note, but adding that 7th sort of turns it into a chord. So yeah, that's a pretty common trick that a lot of people use. Later on there's a little bit more on the MIDI. So we've added a 4th, and then that's still obviously got the 7th in as well, so that would have that plus 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's technically the chord that is playing if you have a look at that. Yeah, that's just what all that 7th is doing, so it saves you putting in the notes yourself. In terms of the rest of it, we've got this filter kind of at the top end without it too much. And the rest is sort of kept the same apart from this noise where the amount's at about 50%. Again, we've got this limiter on there. Not too sure why it's actually on there, to be honest. We've got this reverb, which is obviously making it a bit more dreamy. It's got a fairly short decay time. You can obviously boost that up, but it's got quite a high dry wet, which sort of happens to wash out the sound and put it in the back of the mix. We've got this chorus, so without it, it adds a bit more stereo and washes that out a little bit more, gives you that character. And then lastly you've got the kickstart, side chain to the kick, and this is put 100% to create that sort of pumping effect. Next we've got the drums. This is what the kick sounds like. As I said, these are all from my Speed Garage pack, and yeah, we've got a bit of a drum bus on there. It's taking out some of the top end without it. With it, it's just dampening it a little bit. I mean, you could probably get rid of that, to be fair. And next we've got the drum group, which is the clap. So it's just a clap on its own, but on the group we've got this little reverb, so it's just adding a little bit more space. So without it, a bit dry. With it, just gives it a nice little tail. We've also got this distortion, which is making it a bit louder and fatter. If we look at the sample itself, we've just got this EQ, which is taking out some of the low end, and it is the number 16 clap from the pack. We've then got this hi-hat, which hasn't got any processing. And next we've got this loop. So this really helps to add the groove and the rhythm. There's no processing needed for all the loops in the pack. I mean, obviously you can add them, but yeah, I think they're pretty much fine straight out of the box. So yeah, that is the drums. Next, we've got the synth. So if you actually look in the video, I'm going to play the clip here. He's playing them in on a live synth. Unfortunately, I'm useless at playing piano or anything like that. I cannot play it to save my life. I'm a bit of a keyboard warrior. But yeah, so I sort of tried to mimic it a little bit. It's not the most close, but it's sort of similar and you'll get the idea. So let's hear it. So yeah, let's have a look at the MIDI first. Yeah, so in terms of the notes, we've gone for G, so which is about a fourth or a third above the root note, and I've just obviously turned that into a chord. I was just really playing around with this. I'd say this took me at least sort of 10-15 minutes to actually get something that sounded fairly decent. So yeah, I was just sort of playing around with the notes. There wasn't really much rhyme or reason to this, just something that sounded not terrible, I guess. If we have a look at the synth itself, so this is from Arturia. I was just playing around with loads of different presets, and this is the one I landed on. This is the Stage 93, which I think is like a piano synth, like an electric piano, because he was basically playing it on a Rhodes. So yeah, I think I don't really have that many Rhodes synths, so I think this was the sort of closest I came to. I think this is Rhodes. Yeah. So yeah, and then I stacked it up with a lot of echo. So I noticed that it had a lot of delay on it, sort of helped sink it into the beat itself. So I left that on a 8th note, and I put the dry wet up to about 70, which is quite high. I then sidechained it to the kick to help it sort of set more. I then sidechained it to the kick to help it sit nicer in the mix. And I've just got these two little effects, a riser. So this is just a reverse crash. And then into the main crash. Obviously you've got the vocal. Great guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Please comment down below which video you want to see next. I will see you next time. Cheers, bye.